Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning trading room. Just bear with me here a second while I get the screen share up and running. All right. So this morning, as you can see, I'll be working off the Ninja 7 platform. I'm going to be alternating platforms until I get everything migrated over to Ninja 8. All right. Yesterday, we were waiting on the FOMC report, and I guess it turned out to be a bit of a nothing report. This was yesterday's session. Moderately bullish, but really spent most of the day going sideways. When I'm looking at, this is the daily chart, by the way, for the NASDAQ. It's always nice to have a broader view of the market. When I'm looking at this, a couple of things stand out to me. First, that the market does seem to be in this downward channel. And second, the volume is tailing off as prices are trying to go up. That tends to be a little bit bearish because what this is showing is that there's not really a whole lot of buying support at this time. So we'll see what happens. I think as we get, well, we encountered 6,600 yesterday, got really close to 6,700. I think as the market tries to get up here, we may encounter a little bit more bearishness coming back into the market. Just looking here at support levels, we breached this support. Next support is right here. That's kind of where we're trading right now. And then we have a whole whack of support kind of right through here around, what is that, around 67.50? Just a little something to keep in the back of your mind. Of course, we still have to trade what's going on the charts. Little bit of a soft start here so far. Momentum-wise. So I think we'll just wait them out here a little bit. Opening range, if I haven't mentioned it before, I don't like trading opening range. This here, the Eagle. And the overnight looking also very, very constipated. Les says I can't see your screen. Does anybody else have that problem? Is my screen not displaying? Can I get a screen check, please? Oh, okay. Mark says he's good there. No, Ray says he's good too. Okay, Les, it looks like the problem might be on your end. Check down below in your toolbar. Sometimes you need to click on something down there. one of the icons. Yeah, Dan says he's good. He's got all 4 charts. All right. Well, a little bit of a downward drift. Here's a couple early signals. Here's a first micro macro cross shortly after the open. A little 4 arrow consolidation here on the hawk, piggybacking with it, also a macro pullback signal. The macro pullback signal, also one of the high probability signals on the hawk, occurs when the market pulls back to the macro line. Everything stays in sync except the micro line. The micro line goes out of sync. It changes color. Excuse me. So I guess we do have a little bit of a downside gap relative to where we left off yesterday. Just looking at the daily chart again. So the market closed up here and it opened down here. So there's a little bit of a gap just above the market, which looks like they may try to fill. Right now, things still very, very neutral. While we're waiting for the market to sort itself out, and you can tell it's a mess. You know, if you look at your tools here, you open up your chart, there's no discernible trend here, or I wouldn't say so. There's been a little bit of an uptick here, but now all of a sudden we're back into yellow bars, trying to get back into red bars. It just kind of spoils the whole scenario. The nice thing with the hawk, of course, because you're scalping, is it's usually relatively easy to get your profit target because it is such a tight little profit objective. So the hawk may be a good tool to focus on when the market is like this. The rest of the time, you just have to sort of kind of sit on your hands here a bit. They don't want to go down, so I halfway suspect that there might be a little bit of a push up, maybe. We've got a lot more sidewaysness going on again. A little bit of a block of buying and selling going through here, but not much in the way of actually moving the market, at least not yet. The overnight actually offered some decent opportunities last night, or more the Asian session, I suppose. Here after market, once the Asian session opened up, we had a nice little move lower. That was about the best trend that we saw all day yesterday. After that, everything just kind of went sideways again. Thanks, Ray. Ray's given the calendar report here. Fed Chair Powell speaking at 12:45 Eastern. Normally, the FOMC minutes will kind of set the tone for the market, at least for the short term. They are taking their time here this morning, no question. This big sideways drift, this is where the market opened over here. A little bit of a move lower. Getting a little bit of a test of the extreme. We'll see if the market stops one more time. and reverses, that really opens up the possibility of a move higher. Because what we're looking at here out of the open is we're looking at a move lower and a little bit of a sideways pause, another move lower, a little bit of a pause. Now the $64 question is, are we going to see yet another move lower? If not, well, then we have our test at the extreme, and then we can halfway expect the market to try to move the other way. This should produce, well, it should produce a counter trend signal on the hawk, or pardon me, the raptor. We may even get a first micro macro cross here in the hawk. Oh. I guess I could have put my just in case entry down below those lows, down below this little testy low right here. Or, again, concentrate on the hawk. I did get a first micro macro cross signal right here. A slight pause. A lot of people find it very boring when the market is this slow. It doesn't bother me because it gives you lots of time to make a decision about your trade. The market's probably not going to bolt on you. It does seem, though, that we are seeing a bit of a downward bent on the day. We got ourselves just a basic trend line touch signal here on the Falcon. What time is it? Opening range is almost expired. Okay, here now the counter trend signal, the number 2 signal. The Raptor, one of the first tools that will produce that. Let's see if we get a second push on that. So what I'd be looking for now is just to get a bearish bar. Are they going to give it to me? No, they're not going to give it to me. Doggone it. I may end up waiting too long here. All right, that might be all they're going to do. Okay, so there I have my bearish bar. This now it's counter trend, right? So it's naturally a riskier proposition, 100%. Now we've got the 2 signal, we've got the 3 signal. If we come back with another 2 signal, that would make for a more reliable reversal. The 232 on the Raptor does tend to give you a better counter trend opportunity. Here with your Falcon, you're going to be looking for a retest of the low and a failure. The market will come back. It will produce a trend change signal if the market is reversing, which it may not be doing. And it does not seem to be reversing. We have this slow downward drift. Not quite a channel. Pretty close though. We'll see if the market makes a little bit of a reaction as it gets down here, what potentially was the bottom end of this channel. See if I kind of shoot a line like that. If I draw a line like this, you see we've actually breached this lower trend line, and that does tend to be bullish. You would think something like that would be bearish, but it's not. All right, so I don't want to seem like I'm stuck in buy mode today, but I don't know, that opening gap just seems to keep calling me. Ray says if you look at a 15-minute chart, you'll see that the bears are in charge. So let's take a look at that. Oh, yes, right you are. 2 very strong bear bars. it can be tough, avoiding a personal bias because you cloud your judgment, right? You only start to see things one way. All right, here now the Falcon with a possible late filter entry, the Hawk with a 4-arrow consolidation. It's a bit of a messy one. Okay, so this got spoiled here on the Falcon. We produced a number 2 signal here now on the Raptor, which I was a little bit late getting to. I don't think it hit my profit objective yet. No, got close. Come on, give me the 1 bar. All right, there's going to be my just in case. This is the only bar that's hesitating. I much prefer a full-on bear bar before I place my just in case order to reverse. Okay, you can see we're in a very precarious spot right now, at least according to the trend lines. We've got our first micro macro cross to buy here on the Hawk. We're working a possible trend change signal here on the Falcon. Looks like I got slipped a tick on my entry. Now, it's always a judgment call. Should you take profit on target? Should you try to run it out? If we're seeing a bottom come in today, there is a chance the market will try to fill that gap, which I think was up here around 65.70, 65.84. That would be the median line. That would be a great move. But I think I'll be just as happy to take my profit on target. If we are looking at a reverse, we should have another opportunity to buy in. Well, I feel a little bit better about how things are working out today. Yesterday was a real grind. All right, so it appears as though we've made a bit of a bullish break. Just want to make sure I'm not missing another trend line intersection. It looks like that could be one right there. So now the whole dance begins, because we're looking at some obvious bullishness and some long-term bearishness. So we're going to see here now the sellers have reacted. The buyers had control up to this point. So now we'll see whether the buyers try to take control of the market again. If they do, then we can try to get on board with the buyers. If the buyers try to rally the market, they will somewhere through here, and they fail again, then we can get on board with the sellers. So the market is slowly starting to back itself into a bit of a corner. And once it does, we'll have a better idea which way it may be inclined to go. If we consider as well, if we look at this and, oh, have we breached a significant resistance zone? No, not yet. I was going to say, if we have breached a significant resistance area, we can expect two moves in the direction of the breakout, right? That would have been move one, and then we'll be on the lookout for move number two. All right, here come the buyers now. So the buyers have reacted. They're looking to buy. We're still against the ATR, but this does make for a possible buy. It's risky, to be sure, because we're not sure which way the market is moving yet. Whether the buyers will actually follow through on this push, or whether they're going to get tagged on the reverse. And here I got slipped a tick again. What's with that? Okay, here now the sellers making their stand. So this level right here at around 65.48 would actually make for a more higher probability buy. If the market gets above there, then we can probably look for the buyers to continue their rally. And this is just a crossover signal on your eagle. Again, it's a little bit more aggressive because we're still below the trend line. We've got a comparable signal here on the hawk with the green bar sell. You could look to buy above the failure of that green bar sell. So that would work. And then here on the Falcon right now, it looks as though we're working a trend change signal. So the trend line changing from red to green. We've got the warning dots. We don't have the completed signal just yet. And then, of course, here on the Raptor, we have our cloud crossover signal, our number one signal. And because it was against the ATR, a second push is probably prudent. Come on. You know you want to. Just get up there a little ways. Ideally, my stop should be way down here. But I wouldn't be able to afford that. So it's a bit of a trade-off. The smaller risk amount for a lower probability. We were talking the other day about measured moves, how the market has a tendency to repeat legs that it makes. So let's see where this one would end up. Oh, that'd actually be quite the move up here to stop it. Up here to around 65, 64. Now, I'm not going to be quite that greedy. Maybe I'll try to stretch it here to 65, 60 if things work out. Oh, very good. Okay, I'm just going to roll my stop up here. Protect some of that open profit. I would have hit my profit objective, by the way. Being a little bit more aggressive on my profit target may end up costing me, but we'll see. Okay, I'm going to lock in a couple $100 right there. Okay. Well, we'll see here whether this move does replicate. It's an interesting concept of how the market does have a tendency to do these kinds of things. Not always, of course. The market doesn't do anything always. The only absolute in trading is that there's no absolutes in trading. Well, I don't feel too terrible about that trade, even though I may have been stopped out a little bit early. I did kind of max my profit on the move because my stops were just below this signal bar right here, or pardon me, this bar right here. And it appears that, well, if they didn't tag me, they would have been awfully close to tagging me out. Hey, way to go, Mark. Mark says I picked up that late filter entry signal right there. So the late filter entry signal on the Falcon occurs when your filter goes out of sync and comes back into sync. However, your trend line never changes color. So right here was your late filter entry. Looks like we made it up to the primary resistance line. You're going to find that when your charts are more or less in sync, you're going to end up with more reliable signals as well. Here now on the Raptor, you can see we had the number one signal, which was printing about the same time we were looking at that Eagle signal, as well as the corresponding Hawk and Falcon signals. And then we came back with a number three signal. And at that time, the number three signal was actually in sync with the ATR, the squiggly red and blue line that's on here. Okay, I feel much better about taking my profit where I did now, seeing how the market backing up just a little bit further, it would have tagged me out. Now we're getting a bit of a pullback going on again. We got the number two signal here in your Raptor, your Falcon changing direction again, your trend line flip-flopping, the Hawk, well, the Hawk back into yellow bars, just totally neutral again, and the Eagle back into the cloud, which does tend to give the market a bit of a more neutral bias. Ooh, heavy pushback from the sellers. Here comes that block of selling now, making its way through the Geiger counter. Lots of sideways trading. They're really liking the numbers here around 65.50. We haven't moved too far off that mark, at least not for the last 20 minutes or so. Giving us a little bit of a sideways trading range. Thing with sideways trading ranges, what you want to do is ideally you want to wait for the breakout, then the all-important retest. Because if the breakout is true, the retest will hold and the market will continue higher. Likewise here to the short side. Look for the retest, look for that opportunity for the market to continue in the direction of the breakout. What makes trading breakouts so darn risky, of course, is that sure, you'll get the initial break, and how often have you traded a breakout only to watch the market tag you into a trade and then reverse and head the other way? Yes, occasionally the market will break out and run away and not give you a second chance to get in. But those, missing a trade doesn't really cost you anything. Sure, there's an opportunity cost, but it's not a real cost. It's not like you're actually out of pocket. Unlike a real loss, unlike pulling the trigger early only to get tagged out. Well, our hawk in sync again, giving us a little bit of a buy signal. The falcon also, and here the raptor with the #1 signal. We're, looking at the context though, we're just a little bit too close here. I think I will wait. It's a trade-off, right? I could certainly, here on my hawk, I certainly would have hit my profit objectives. I suppose I could have gone in off of the 4-arrow consolidation right there, just taken the buy signal and scalp my profit before we even get up here to the highs. All right, now we have the breakout. Let's see if there's a pushback from the sellers. Wow, okay, I guess not. Oh well, I guess I was a little bit too cautious. I did have the #1 signal here on the Raptor. The 4-arrow consolidation, of course, on the Hawk was a relatively easy scalp. And then we had the trend change signal here on the Falcon. Next time. There's always a next time. I think, the overall bias has shifted maybe slightly from bearish to bullish. That big rally up definitely giving a more bullish flavor to the market. Somewhere through here, though, there needs to be a little bit of a pullback. That was quite the move, though. I hesitate to say, but that may have been the move of the day right there, that rally. That was crazy. Craziness. But even so, even though I waited too long on that particular move, we're still having a pretty good day here. Being picky about your trades usually saves you money. Well, look at that. Another little bit of a push up. It's it's so tempting to just kind of hop on board here on any old buy signal. And I may end up getting stuck flat-footed here again. What I'm waiting for, or what ideally what I would like to see, is a little bit of a pullback, maybe back to the hard edge here on the Eagle and the Raptor. We're practically into that morning gap, which falls pretty close here to the median line. The median line at 65.84. There's going to be a little bit of a bearish pushback here, a very tempting selling opportunity as well. The band up to 65, 66 ticks, which is a very broad trading band. We do have the warning dot here on the Eagle, depending how aggressive you want to be on it. You could short that warning dot. You could short the ATR, looking for a retrace back to the hard edge. I'm just going to sim it for you here. Just going to pop in with a short order. Stops need to go above the high. See if we actually produce another counter trend signal here on the Raptor. Counter trend trades, remember, are always difficult. You need to exercise extreme caution when doing a counter trend trade. Okay, so here comes now the retest. The retest to the high. If we come back now with a short signal, that will be a number 2 signal, the second number 2 signal. If you want to, generally speaking, if you want to avoid losses, and really, who doesn't, don't trade counter trend. When I go through my trading log, easily 3/4 or more of all my losses are counter trend attempts. They always look so tempting. But here's the problem with counter trend trades. Not only are they riskier, they also block you from taking with trend trades. So here on the Falcon now, we have a late filter entry signal with a second push opportunity, but I can't take it because I'm already short. All right, so here at the Raptor now, we got a nice little retest of the extreme. Let's see if we come back with a short signal. The trading band still fairly broad, coming in a little bit from what were we at, 65, 66 ticks? Yeah, I think we were up there, 64 ticks. So it is queuing up for a bit of a reverse. Let's see if we get that counter trend signal. Here, what I've done on the Eagle is I've used the band width and I went off of the warning dot. See, with the Eagle, you won't actually produce a counter trend signal, you'll produce the warning dot. And that may be all that you get. The warning dot coupled with the wide band is your cue to try to short or go counter trend. In this case down here, you would try, pardon me, you would try to go long, and here, of course, we're attempting to go short. I'm going to get much more aggressive with my stops here in a moment. I think I'll take it down to around break even right now. And I may even roll it bar for bar. Let's see if we got that counter trend signal yet. Yes, here on the Raptor, we did produce that number 2 signal to short. So the Raptor in sync with the Eagle. Working a first micro macro cross signal here on the Hawk to sell. The trade should work out if I can just get past this first little micro swing. What have we got for profit? I was thinking I could roll my stops in a little tighter, protect more profit, but I'll try to hold off for just a little bit here. Come on. There we go. May have caught a lucky break here. What I should do is I shouldn't make the trade work quite this hard. I should probably take my profit here at around, or try to take my profit at around $100. Because it is a counter trend move. Wow, the buyer's not messing around here, really trying to push the market up. All right, we got that little bit of a sideways trading range thing going on again. A much tighter little trading range than before. Here we are, just kind of going back and forth. This may turn out to be a little bit of a double top type ordeal, or triple top even. And I could be open to another shorting attempt. We're going to get a first micro macro cross here on the hawk. I would probably look to do it again, the second push entry type idea. No, it's gone into yellow bars, so that nixes that idea. Okay. So here's our sideways trading range. We don't have a breakout yet, but we had an attempted break here, which failed. Now we have an attempted break here, which is failing. This is a number 2 signal. There's the second push on the number 2. Here's the second push on the number 3. We can actually bracket those ranges now that the market's made several attempts to go higher and lower. Oh, do I want to do that? No, not for that amount of money. I'll throw a single contract on it, maybe. All right, here comes the number 2 signal again. So we've got our 2-3-2 type setup. And, you know, just like before, this is a little bit of a crapshoot. It's not, if you're looking for one of your best signals of the day, this may not be it. But the market is due for a little bit of a retest of support. This big rally up, you know, a move back here to the primary support line at around 65.59 would not be out of the question. Of course, as long as prices stay inside this trading range, it's going to be a little touch and go. But like they say at the carnivals, use pays your nickels, use takes your chances. All right, another first micro macro cross here on the hawk, coinciding with the number 2 signal that we see here on the Raptor. Oh, and that back into yellow bars, so that's really putting some pressure on that. Okay, I'm going to cancel that. We're just flip-flopping a little bit too much here. These are the kinds of times that you just end up being grist for the mill. Paul waxing philosophical. These are times that try men's souls. Yes, yes, they do. It's tempting to try to read something into the market at this point. We're back into the hard edge. Was this a break? If so, we can kind of throw our order in below that. If the market continues now in this direction, following the breakout, we're witnessing the retest at this point, if in fact that is a breakout. All right, well, I think we can safely cancel that order. I think it's probably prudent to consider that still inside the trading range. Haven't really got the breakout yet. All right, bullish break now. Let's wait for that reaction. And then we'll have a better idea where it might be safe to enter. Come on. We need at least one bear bar. Are they going to give it to me? All right, well, we're winding down here this morning. So what I'm waiting on is evidence that this is where the buyers are holding. So I need at least one bear bar, and you can see whatever momentum we had in the market is pretty much waned. So we've got the breakout, looking for the retest. I need at least one bar that I can place my order above. If the retest fails, then I can look to short. So the market is slowly working itself into a bit of a bind, but I need a few things to play out here first. So that's what I'm going to be on the lookout for in case this does not happen before we close up the room here for the morning. Likewise, here with the number one signal, we've got a second push opportunity on that. Okay, I finally have my bearish bar. Ideally, I want to see two bear bars. The reason is this can happen with a single bar where you get the down bar, but it doesn't do anything. If you get two bear bars, it's going to be a little bit more predictable, but we're kind of in the situation where this may be all we get. Again, this is a little bit more aggressive. I don't have a buy signal just yet. I'm just looking for the market to continue. I've got the number one signal here that I can do the second push on. So the Raptor has got a signal going. The Falcon has got a signal going. Here, our trend change signal right there, same idea. And here too, I don't think I'm going to be pushing the market too hard. It seems like we've lost a lot of early momentum. So I think if I can get it up to around $100, I'll take that. Okay. Hooray. All right. Um, again, that decision was kind of based on the obvious lack of momentum that we're experiencing right now. So the market may continue higher from there, but you know what? I'm okay with my $100 profit. All right, gang. I think we're going to button up shop here this morning. If you are going to continue trading today, I think what a lot of traders are waiting on is a little bit of a pullback again. We've broken through this resistance zone right here. There could be a little bit of a pullback. You can kind of see where it may coincide between the trend line and the resistance breakout. And then we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to look for another buy opportunity, another signal to suggest that the market will get bullish. Or if you want to be more aggressive, heck, you can just take it off of the next bull bar. That's another way that you can get in. It may not have met all the programming parameters, but it will certainly get you into the market a little bit earlier. All right, good day today. I'll see you again tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Bye for now.